I'm Marilyn Newell, and I'm chair of this year's Stewardship Committee. Please reconsider groaning. We have a fabulous audio system, and I can hear you. The dean has honored me by asking me to chair this effort, and I'm excited to carry on the previous year's work that was started by David Ball and his committee. I'm also humbled by this opportunity to speak to you. And P.S., you have the bravest dean in the United States of America because he never asked to see my remarks. Before I move into the message, I want to show you your St. John's t-shirt. This was not prepared by, but gotten for you by the Stewardship Committee because we are so sure that you will be inspired and energized by this effort that you'll want everyone to know that you belong to St. John's Cathedral. So these are free to you, and we have a distribution center in Dagwell Hall. There are also some in the back, so please feel free to pick one up that fits you and wear it in good health and proudly. Stewardship to me is not a season. It's a mindset. It's a way of living out your faith. It's our commitment to properly care for the blessing that is St. John's. 2 weeks ago, the dean in his sermon on the A Mount illuminated the vision for us. Our theme, Vision 2020, would imply perfect vision. Every one of us over 30 knows that's not true. However, we all have the ability to correct our vision when it goes out of focus. 3 years ago, a diligent group prayerfully culminated a search and called a dean. Through parish-wide efforts to define the candidate qualifications and carefully following the process, God blessed us with the answer to our prayers. Even more exhilarating, the dean called 2 extraordinary canons. Our walk in the wilderness taught us the power of patience and process. We needed to discern who we were and to get our house in order so that we would be prepared to receive this blessing. When I lived in Pasadena, a fellow vestry member and I were discussing one day going to God in prayer. And she very wisely panted my hand and said, "Honey, you and I have no problem praying. It's just that we need to hush up long enough to hear the answer." Which brings to mind an illustrative story speaking of being wise enough to know what to do with God's answer to our prayers. There was an area that was in danger of dire flooding. The sheriff went to this gentleman's home and said, "Come with me. You are in danger. I will take you to safety." And the gentleman said, "That's okay. I'll be fine. God will take care of me." When the water got to the second story, a boat came by, and they encouraged the gentleman to get in the boat so that he could be carried to safety, to which he replied, "I'll be fine. God will take care of me." Later on, when he was on the roof, a helicopter came over and dropped a ladder to him. And he said, "Never mind, go on. I'll be fine. God will take care of me." After he had drowned and was in heaven speaking with God, he said to God, "What happened? I thought you would save me." To which God responded, "I sent the sheriff I sent the boat. I sent the helicopter. What did you want? So we just need to engage our faith, our convictions, our passions, our energy, our heart, and our mind to properly steward our blessings. The psalm today reassures us that God will be there for us. We should return the favor. From Timothy, we're charged to proclaim the message, to do the work of an evangelist, to carry out your ministry fully, to share our vision. In the corporate world, when I went to address my staff, I tried to approach it in the good, the bad, and the hope for the future. The good. Yes, we have balanced the budget. Yes, we have attended to the deferred maintenance of the cathedral itself. And most importantly, our priests have tended the flock of the parish to nourish our souls back to health. They have put in place an extraordinary staff, like Tina and Christina, who are shepherding our young ones in godly formation. Canon Broderick has invigorated the 20s and 30s group to a point that the rest of us have practically signed up for plastic surgery so we can sneak in and go. Canon Katie's pastoral legions and support programs are unequaled, and she continues to develop new ministries that will address additional spiritual and support needs. For example, providing a new program that will offer caregiver support as dementia challenges present themselves. All the while, our volunteers continue to provide food and periodic lodging to the homeless. The St. Francis facility across the street was built, outfitted, and offers hope daily. There is no bad. As for the hope for the future, we're blessed with our legacy, and we are challenged to uphold and expand our ministry locally and to carry out the role as the bishop's church to facilitate the hopes and expectations of the diocese. We must be very cautious not to designate this as a moment in time, but to make it the moment in time. Our pledges last year brought us to $1.5 million annually, which is 75% of the way to a point that will ensure our future, our vision, and our mission. Our legacy is the confidence that every one of those precious children who fill up this carpet on Sunday will someday bring their children forward in gratitude and say a prayer of alleluia and thanks. You had a choice today. You could have been anywhere. But I suspect that in your heart, you were pretty sure that you'd get something here you couldn't get anywhere else. At this time, I'm going to turn to another of our extraordinary blessings for our closing thought, our amazing choir.
I'm gonna let it shine. shine.